Study YouTube channel. This video lecture is for 10th standard SSC board students. Today's topic is historiography development in West history. So we are going to study tradition of historiography 1.1. In earlier video, which was part 1, we have studied about the introduction part, which was in the textbook till do you know. And now we are going to move ahead with 1.1 traditions of historiography second part. So let us start. So the first paragraph is about the traditions of historiography, about ancient and today's tradition. So let us see the whole thing. We have learnt about historical research method, critical examining the historical sources and writing the historical narrative. Right, we have studied about this in the introduction part. The writing of critical historical narrative is known as historiography. A scholar who writes such a narrative is a historian. Now in the last part I have told you about the definition of historiography. This is the same thing. The writing of critical means important, historical means old or in ancient times or ancient. Critical which is very important, historical which is old, then narrative again in the story format, right? So this is known as historiography. A scholar who writes such a narrative is called historian. Now the person who studies, who examines the thing is the expert, who knows about the thing is expert. But the person who writes such a narrative, this story about the old and important writings, the person who writes this story or this narrative is called as historian. Okay, just remember, the person who writes narrative or this historiography is known as historian. Okay, historian cannot include every past event in his narrative. Now everything he cannot include. So let us study ahead about this. What is the inclusion and the interpretation? Inclusion means something which is included. He will include the things which is necessary, and interpretation, he will give the necessary information, explanation about the historical event by the historian. Often depends on the conceptual framework adopted by him. His style of writing is determined by the conceptual framework. Now what is conceptual framework? See, history is a very vast concept, right? There are many things to study about history. There is ancient period, medieval, then modern. So there is history of that period, this history, today's history. Everything is different. Now if I want to study history about sports, still there are so many sports which are today, which were like the previous games, which are not today, or they are not quite they are not played mostly in today's generation. So that history is different. Now modern history, about if we take an example, or if we take the example of cricket, and cricket's bat, the bat of cricket, it has evolved, right? Cricket bat has evolved from so much. It has evolved because earlier the grip and the shape of the bat was also different. So if I want to study about cricket, and from that cricket only I want to study only about bat, then that is my conceptual framework. Are you getting it? So bat, there is a topic is about cricket, bat is of the cricket sport, but I don't want to study all about cricket, the stumps and all, or the ground, and what is the size of the ground, the people playing, how many people are playing. So I don't want to study it. I just want to study about the bat, the evolution of bat. If I want to study about that only, this is my conceptual framework, only a particular part. So I will not include anything regarding cricket or the cricket ground or the size of the ground or how many players are playing in it. No, I will not include that. I will just include in my narrative is that of the bat. I'll only see to it that bat is only included in my narrative. I will not include anything which is not related with bat. It is of cricket but not related with bat, so that should not be included. Only the thing is bat should be included. Okay, so this becomes my conceptual framework. So the only required topic of one's observation is conceptual framework. Okay, so if the historian want to write the narrative, he will include his conceptual framework. Why? Because history is very vast and everything cannot be included in history. Okay, now I hope this thing is clear. These two paragraphs are clear with you. Now let us move to the next para. Okay, so this is the next paragraph. The tradition of writing historical narrative is, that is historiography, was not prevalent in ancient times of the world. Prevalent means not much widespread, means like writing them down and then we have to observe it, then critically, like what we do today in modern period. It was not that much prevalent in ancient society. However, that doesn't mean that they were not aware of the historical time or were not eager to know about it. Means they this doesn't mean that even if it was that much, even if it was not that much widespread, it doesn't mean that they were not aware about the things or the historical times, or they were not eager to know about it. Ancient people also felt the need of passing of the stories of the life and failure of ancestors to the next generation. Ancient people also felt the need of passing their stories of life. Stories of life means the things their ancestor did, or what brave things. Value of ancestors means the brave things. Okay, what brave things were done by their earlier generation. So they also felt to pass down the stories. So how they used to pass the stories? So ancient communities all over the world used various means like cave paintings. Okay, by cave paintings they used to depict a picture, and from that picture they used to tell the next generation that this happened, then that generation used to tell the next generation, and so on. The process was going on. So cave painting was one medium. Okay, cave painting. Then storytelling, they used to tell in story form. Okay, that this happened, that happened, then how did all the things went on easily, and how did they fought, how brave their ancestor was, like that. Next is singing songs. Okay, so in the it was a story. It can be a story with the songs in it. Okay, so in the story format. Next is and ballads. Ballads are the short stories or short poems. Okay, so these are the things they used to tell to the next generation by these methods: cave painting, storytelling, singing songs, ballads. So these traditional means are looked upon as the sources of history in the modern historiography. Now these traditional means how they used to pass. In the cave paintings, we study about the cave paintings as well. Then storytelling, then singing songs, ballad, how the earlier people, the ancient people did. So this study is the study of the modern historiography. So these sources, the caves and the songs and the ballads, this is the these sources are looked upon in the modern historiography. So I hope this is clear with you. There is 1.2 modern historiography. We will see it in the next part 3 of this lesson. So there are 4 main characteristics of historiography, nothing else. So we are going to see about it in next part. So till then, keep watching, keep learning. Thank you.